A few years ago, when my father had a stroke, he of course had difficulty eating. The nurses that helped him, and in a lot of places you'll see in nursing homes, used these type of we'll call them adult bibs, extra large bibs, for keeping his shirt clear when he was perhaps drooling or food dropped down. This is fine, and he liked the Cardinals, so when he's home and he's eating and no one else is around, I think that's okay. But it bothered me when we took him out in public, often to get milkshakes or something like that, or on special events, birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, when people are around, or just when the grandchildren came and his picture was being taken. So we have these pictures of him wearing these bibs, and I just don't think it's dignified. If you research sewing things, you'll find that there is something called a dignity bib. And on things like Pinterest, you'll see some that are a lot like this one. That is, it looks like a shirt, and there are directions, and they put Velcro behind the collar and give sewing directions for that. So when you put it on and he wears it, it looks like he's wearing a shirt, at least over top of the other, and there's a little collar and it slips down. That's fine, but a lot of people who have adult parents or have parents who need something like that aren't sophisticated in sewing, even with something as simple as putting on those kind of things. Here's what I did that we used often. You can actually take a shirt, cut it up, slip it over his head where the opening is, button it up a little if you want. So here's one of his shirts that was simply cut up. It looks a lot like this. You simply cut out the sleeves, cut along the back yoke and down the sleeves, put it over his head, and it doesn't matter if the shirt goes all the way down in his lap. So what? If you want to cut it off, fine. Put it over his head, button whatever you'd like, but any pictures of him will look like he's wearing a shirt. It's a very washable, non-wrinkleable shirt that he happened to have. So what? He's probably not going to wear it much anyway after the stroke, and it serves a lot better purpose and looks a lot better. That, to me, more dignified over top of what he's wearing. Simply put it over his head. So again, what you would do, here's one of his shirts. I was going to do this. Take the scissors, cut off the sleeves, both sides, cut around the back, and then cut up the sides and slip it over his head where the collar is, button it up wherever you think it should go, over his head if he's wearing it. This is flannel, doesn't matter, it's washable, throw it in. Hem it if you'd like, zigzag it if you'd like around the edges, or just let it go, because it really doesn't matter if you're using that, washing them up. And while we're on the topic, my mother also, although she didn't have a stroke, was older with dementia, and a lot of times we'd like to protect her clothing also when going out visiting or when the grandchildren are visiting. So for a dignity bib for a woman, I simply took some material, kind of like a jersey cotton blend, soft, you can see wrinkles, floral, looks like it could be a scarf. Cut it, actually, because I had it that way, put two pieces together, gathered it up to give it a little gather. In this case, I did hem it, although again, you can zigzag depending on what it is. And then simply, very washable, put it around her neck. If you want to sew or tack it down, you can tack down the, where it comes together. Oops, let's see, let's put it this way. Simply tack it down, and then so it goes overhead, kind of holds together like that, but you don't really need to. You can simply, where you want it to go together, simply put a little gold pin underneath it so it kind of stays together, and then when she comes home from her event, toss it in the washer And at least it appears she's had a scarf on rather than a bib. As nice as they are, keep those for home use. And that's what is a dignity bib for a senior citizen.